Hello everybody, how are you all doing tonight? I'm going to show both of these together. One is the brass coin and the other one is a wooden nickel. Celebrations for the 150th anniversary of the city of Terre Haute. I guess back then they had a pretty big party because I've seen the program book for it, which is like a magazine with a bunch of pictures of business leaders and stuff around town. But anyway, this shows them both together. Um, Along with the wooden nickels. This design I think was the coolest. But we're going to move along to what I got today. One thing I got today, I don't think I'll get much of a debate about this. This 20 centavos Mexican coin appears to be completely uncirculated, mint state. Might have a little bit of discoloration and toning, but when you look at all the details, I don't see anywhere. Now I had over here on my stack of stuff this 74 one, which was loose, that is pretty nice too, but it was the nicest one of these I've seen. This one is even better. It's not even close in my opinion. It's 35 cents. I didn't think that was too bad for this. Good mint luster, cartwheel on it. All right, let's talk about the next thing I got. That when I saw it, and in person, it probably looks better than this video. It's a 40% Kennedy half dollar that has some toning and stuff on it that gives it a certain kind of look that I quite like. It almost looks like it's been antiqued or something. But I think all it is toning. It might have a little wear, some scratches on it and stuff. Not too bad though. This is a pretty interesting look on this 40% silver Kennedy half. And they're all 40% from 65 until 1970. But you'll probably not run into the 1970 ones. All right, next item. This has probably been a little bit cleaned, and it does have a scratch across the neck that shows. The Liberties is there. A little bit of wear on the lower side of it by the above the eye there, but all in all, this is much better looking than these Barber dimes usually are. They're usually worn almost completely out. The rim's usually gone on them. The rim looks pretty well full on this one all the way around. So this isn't a bad looking dime. Again, if you have these and you want to prevent extra scratches and they have this kind of staple, take a pair of pliers and flatten them. All right. If I can find nicer looking Barber coins, I like to buy them just because they're hard to find. They got circulated a lot. They kept making these until 1916, so this one was at least 13 years old before they stopped making them. And I'm not sure when it got took out of circulation. It's pretty hard to say. But it's still a nice looking one. Now, this is a 1 peso US made coin for the Philippines. This one's kind of heavily circulated, means it got used quite a bit. 1150, and when you look at this, the 5 point, well, it should have a point there, but it doesn't. 5144 represents how much silver is in this. Just over a half. Now, with this one being slightly worn like this, it might be a little bit less than what that content says. It's 80% silver. I only have one other one. It's better shaped than this one, but I rarely see these for sale. And when I do see them, I tend to want to get them just because you don't see them for sale too often. But that's kind of neat. And that is right about melt for a touch, because silver is like 23 something. So getting it for 1150, and it's just over half an ounce of silver total weight. You did well to get it for that price. Usually some people may charge more for these, but speaking of charging more, I've been on the hunt for one of these for ages. It's about to come out of the holder here, and this holder is really old, yellowed, bent up. It's too big of a coin for this holder. But what this is, it's a 5 pesos, 5 pesos. It's a 1948. They only made these 2 years, from 48, 47, 48. This one, details wise, it's a little bit toned up and dirty, but details wise, I can get this to focus good. The little details are not really worn. It is, and it says over here, 30 grams. And then it's 90% silver. The total weight on this is, if I can get this up here, 0.8680, so it's bigger than a Morgan dollar. In fact, it's about the same size around as a US Silver Eagle, 40 millimeters or so. Now it's about to come out of this holder because it's too big for it, and it just doesn't fit very well. Now the back, you look at the high tips of the eagle's wings there. It's got a hold of the snake sitting on some cactus. All Mexican coins have this. I mean, it's the same as this copper one is, pretty much, just in silver. Now, when I went to look at this on AppMex, they were having a little bit of a sale on them. They wanted over $40 for what they said would be very fine to AU range. This is at least very fine, and it might be an AU coin. It's just, it does have a few scratches on it, unless that's on the plastic, which until it comes out of this would be hard to tell. Now, you can see on the bird's thick part of his chest here, the feathers aren't worn. They're pretty sharp. Maybe just a little bit of wear, but it doesn't look like much. So I'd say this is at least AU. Be hard to call it mint state with this kind of dirt on it and stuff, but I've been chasing these for a while. And this price, $19 versus AppMex wanting over $40 for the same coin, and it was a 47 or a 48, and you didn't get to choose. And the 48, if you wanted to choose, because you did have the option of choosing, well, that was more expensive for the 48 than the 47. So that's even even a little bit nicer fact. But yeah, I've been looking for one of these for probably 3 or 4 years, ever since I saw them online when I was searching other stuff. But like I said, this holder is not very good. It's old, it's worn out. Coins taking on toning on the edges where it's open quite a bit here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. Kind of silvery looking there, and then it gets real dark right there. All right, now let's get to the rarity. Now, it's an 1878 Morgan. No doubt about that. But what makes it a bit of a rarity, and we're going to show you what the thing is. You look at that, there's 8 tail feathers. They minted 750,000 of the 8 tail ones. Now, this doesn't look like the one where it's 8/7, which is even another rarity. So this particular coin, even though it is worn, is probably at least a good grade. Probably environmental damage from that. But this is quite a bit lower than what the online prices on these 8 tail feather ones usually is over $100 even for a good 4. So, but that's where it is. There's 8 tail feathers on that, and that's why this is a bit of a rarity. Neat coin. You know, it's got wear on it, but you know, that happens. I mean, they indiscriminately melted 290 million Morgan dollars to send to the British for a credit crunch that they had at the time. So a lot of these just got melted for no, you know, and how many of these actually still survive is hard telling. But this too is something I've been chasing around and trying to find for a long time. Rarity coin. I mean, like I said, they minted 750,000 of them, but how many of them are still around and not melted or whatever, or just destroyed or worn out from excessive wear? Because they made these all the way till 1904, and Morgan dollars could stay in circulation back then. From, you know, that to 1904 would be something like 25 years of circulation from this, or could have been. And the more they switched hands, the more wear they got, because 90% silver wears pretty quick. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff I wanted to cover. And like I said, this, I don't know how well this will show up on the video in terms of how the toning looks, but it's kind of a neat looking toning, and it was in a bag with a bunch of other 40%, and it stuck out quite a bit because of its look. And they were 3.25 if you bought the entire bag, which there's probably 40 or 50 of them in it. I got quite a few of these. I didn't want to buy the whole bag, but he let me take this one out of it and buy just this one for 10 cents more. So it's $3.35, which I think on this at current prices is probably around melt. It might be just a few cents above or a few cents below. Hard telling. I didn't look, you know. But this is telling me there's 2 people watching, but no one said hello yet. So if anybody wants to say hello, it'd be nice. I think I'll get my scale out and take this out of this holder and then weigh it, because it's supposed to weigh 30 grams. Sometimes the weight on this scale, and this is a VOG scale with a skull head on the cover with what looks like a fiery mohawk. It says "Punks Not Dead." Kind of neat. Oh, Frank, Forge, R4Q. I'm not really sure how that's pronounced. How you doing tonight? We're going to weigh us a coin. So I'm going to get these wooden nickels out of the way. By the way, if you haven't seen these wooden nickels before, they're kind of neat. This one's the one I really like the most. But this one goes along with these brass ones that they put out. They made in '65 or '66. When I don't know exactly when they were made, but they were made for 1966, the 150th anniversary of Terre Haute. They're kind of neat. I'm gonna go ahead and get my scale out. We'll set this there. Try to move the wooden nickels off to the side. I'm gonna put the. By the way, this is a 50-gram weight for the scale to make sure it's calibrated. This shouldn't be too hard to get out of here because after all, it's practically falling out of the holder anyway. Come right out. Now we can kind of look at the coin and see that the toning is on the edge quite a bit, almost all the way around except for right about there. It's supposed to be 30 grams. It's 90% silver. It's a 1948 5 peso coin, which without having the plastic on, you get a little bit better look at the coin itself and see that the details on it is pretty nice. There are a few random scratches and dings on it, but all the high detail spots appear to be there. Okay, it's Al4 key. That's how that's pronounced? Okay, Al4 key. Okay, Frank, thanks for stopping by. And there's a couple other people in the chat, or not in the chat, but in the thing. Now, like I said, this is a little bit bigger around, and there's more silver than a Morgan dollar. And when I kind of line them up together, you can kind of see it's a bit bigger than a Morgan dollar. But Morgan dollar is 27.6 grams if it's not worn out too bad. All right, we'll put the 50. Well, wait a second. I got to put it on grams. Set this on the scale. It says 50 grams. So what we're going to do now is put the coin on there and see if it reads 30. This is 29.85. It's a little bit light, but the tolerance on this particular scale is not real good. It's plus or minus 0.1, I think. So, and that said -4. We retear it. Tear by the way, means 0. Now let's see what it weighs. I'm still showing 29.87. I don't suspect that it's not the right amount. Now this Morgan dollar is slightly worn, reads 26.64. So I'm convinced that this is a 90% coin. One last thing you can do is ping test. That rang for a long time. It tells me it's 90% silver, and I doubt it at all. It's fake. Now this is a copper nickel Churchill coin. If you ping it, wow, that's high pitched. If you ping the Morgan dollar, it has its own ring. This is a little bit bigger piece, and it's about the same thickness, but it has a different design, so still ringing. So yeah, I'm convinced by weight, by looks, and by the ping that it's 90% silver, and it is what it's supposed to be. A cinco peso. Cinco means 5 pesos. 1948. It's a hefty coin. It's just a little bit under 1 ounce. If I put it on troy ounces on the scale, it reads 0.960, which it is less than a troy ounce, so that's what it should do. Now, if I put it on grains, it comes up 460.8, which is about where it should be. The silver dollar here will probably be about 208, maybe. Well, not 208, I meant 408, 409. It's 411, so somewhere in the neighborhood. Grain's one way that this doesn't do penny weight, which is something that a lot of people like to use for measuring um, uh, gold chains, gold pieces. By the way, that thing's, if it's a Terre Haute brass thing, is only 0.395 troy ounces, but that stuff isn't got value by weight because brass is plentiful and not really worth much. Now, we can measure a few 1 ounce silver coins by troy ounce. Why I got it out. By the way, this thing is bigger around than this 1 ounce. It's not as thick. And this is honest value never fails. USS Constitution. Excuse me. Has 1974 date on it, and it quotes Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution. Talks about no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debt. Oh, we all know that went out the door. 1.01 troy ounces, which is what it should be. Now, a couple of these might come up just a bit light. This one's showing a little bit, but that's within its tolerance on the scale. So this one will probably come up about the same. It's a Walking Liberty. Actually, it weighs a little over, but that's again within its tolerance levels. You need a much more expensive scale than this one for perfect reading. Now, this is a Liberty Bell A mark. This one has the date on the back. They don't all have dates on them. This is Life, Liberty, Happiness, and then it has the Liberty Bell. I like this one a lot, and it scales out at 1.003 troy ounces, which seems about right. Now, heard people claim this one's a little bit more of a premium type one because of its theme. It's the 50th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Has a map of the Pearl Harbor, and it is 1 troy ounce, but it weighs like that other one, the Standing Liberty one. Comes up just a nick under, but it's close enough for the purpose of testing. I'm trying to remember how much these are supposed to be in terms of grams. It'll come to me after I weigh it. It's not 12 and a half, but it's more than a modern one a little bit because silver's heavier. It says 11.43 grams. I can't remember if they started at 11 and a half. I can't remember exactly what the copper nickel ones are supposed to weigh, and I don't have one handy, so I couldn't tell you. So all in all, I believe this to be a legitimate, not fake 1948 5 or 5 pesos Mexican coin. Really like Mexican coins, and I've been looking for this one for a while, years. And the fact I got it for $19 puts it probably under melt, or if not, it's right near melt. Um, let's see. I don't know exactly what the price of silver was. Where's that card? But it's $23. I'll put 22 times 0.868. 1996, according to this. So it's under melt because I paid $19 and this says it should be $20 melt for 1996, close enough to $20. 4 cents never killed nobody. All right. Okay, to sum it all up, I'm happy I was able to finally get one of these. I was happy that I was able to get it at the price I was able to get it. And the design on this is quite nice. It's wonderful, really. These basically trade in the US for silver content. But if you go online to try to buy them, everybody asks for a lot more than they probably usually get. I don't know what to tell you the most you should pay for one of these is, because like I said, the price online has them at, I just checked earlier, Ampmex wanted $40 for them, plus 40 and change. So I got it I could have got two of them if he had two of them, and if he had another one of them for that same price, I'm thinking I would have bought it too. But I like this. All right. Well, to sum it all up, I had an eventful day at the coin shop in terms of being able to get some interesting items. Um, these I got yesterday, and today I got the other ones I just showed. The Morgan Dollar Rarity. We'll go over them real quick. The 64 Mexican 20 centavos coin, which looks totally uncirculated. The Morgan dollar with 8 tail feathers. The Philippine 1 peso 1907 80% silver coin. That's been circulated quite a bit. And then finally the Barber dime. That's in a little bit better shape than they usually are. But I have other things to do, and I wanted to do this video real quick, this live stream, and talk about some of the stuff I just got. And I'm hoping that everyone has a good night, and I'll see you next time. I'll probably go live tomorrow.